According to reports, Man United are on the verge of signing Netherlands international Donnyvan de Beekfrom Ajax. The young midfielder's arrival is going to add way more depth to the team's midfield as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looks to improve on last season's third-placed finish. The Red Devils really upped their game following the unexpected 90-day break from all footballing activities in Europe. It was expected that qualification for the Champions League would help the club's top hierarchy to splurge a good amount of money in the current transfer window. United are in dire need of more depth and better players in the squad. Regardless of where they finished last season, the Red Devils are far from the finished product and need to spend good money in order to close the gap on the likes of Man City and Liverpool, two sides that have raised their bar in the Premier League in recent years. And with Chelsea already seeking reinforcements and actively following a brief hiatus from the previous two transfer windows, it's clear that Solskjaer needs similar backing from Ed Woodward. The United executive is quite notorious when it comes to getting deals over the line, and in the past has struggled to back his managers in the transfer window. Before we delve into the club's recent transfer market struggles, it's imperative to look back at how this particular trend has been impacting the club. When Sir Alex Ferguson retired from the game and played a massive role in bringing David Moyes as his replacement, it was clear that the club needed fresh blood. While they did lift the Premier League title during the Great Scots final campaign at Old Trafford, it was clear that the new manager would be inheriting an ageing squad that needed fresh faces. The likes of Toni Kroos, Gareth Bale and Cesc Fabregas were hotly linked with moves to Old Trafford. However, it was Marouane Fellaini who eventually signed on deadline day. The Belgian's arrival was unexpected and he was never able to showcase the form that made him such a hit at Everton. Once David Moyes was removed and Louis van Gaal was brought, the club's ownership slowly started backing their new manager. The Dutchman had a long list of players he wanted. The legendary Dutchman had inherited a deflated, broken and totally unbalanced squad from Moyes and spent roughly £150 million on the likes of Luke Shaw, Ander Herrera and Angel Di Maria. However, the former Barcelona tactician struggled and was eventually sacked following United's FA Cup triumph. LVG claims that he wanted to sign Robert Lewandowski from Bayern Munich, but when that proved to be difficult, he tried to bring in Gonzalo Higuain, who at the time was in the form of his life and scoring goals for fun at Napoli. But that's not it. LVG revealed that he spoke with the board about Neymar, feeling that a club as big as Man United should be thinking big. He even revealed that he wanted to sign Thomas Müller and N'Golo Kante, alongside Sergio Ramos and Mats Hummels. While most of these players seemed unattainable, LVG admits that he found it odd that the likes of Kante and Riyad Mahrez joined other clubs when they might have signed for United. But then again, Louis van Gaal was given a fair amount of backing by the board, but the problem is that the Dutchman, just like Moyes, was not provided the exact players that he needed. Similarly, Jose Mourinho was given the freedom to bring in the likes of Paul Pogba and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but the Portuguese tactician also knew how much work needed to be done. The special one, just like most of us, realised that the club's defence was in tatters and the midfield was not as great as the board believed. For several months, Mourinho tried to convince the board to help him sign a defender. He was very interested in bringing Toby Alderweireld to Old Trafford, but eventually that move also didn't happen. And this is exactly the sort of problem United have been facing. Ever since David Gill retired alongside Sir Alex, United have not been very smart when it comes to dealing with players. The club's financial clout means that teams will always demand over the odds for their players, which is why the Red Devils end up paying more for players than they're worth. Ed Woodward is definitely a wizard when it comes to tying up the club to lucrative marketing deals, but when it comes to players, he does seem to be someone who struggles to understand football at a deeper level. This summer, Man United were expected to go all in for Jadon Sancho. The Borussia Dortmund man has been on the club's radar for quite some time, and reportedly he wants to move to Old Trafford. However, the Germans are not willing to agree to anything other than €110 million for their prized asset. The English giants know that BVB will never be low-balled, but reportedly opened up negotiations at a very low price. Doesn't this seem like a deja vu moment? A few months ago, Woodward was doing the exact same thing when the club was interested in signing Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. The Portuguese outfit's well-documented financial issues perhaps played a role in Woodward trying to make a bargain deal. However, it took almost a month and some pressure from the club's fans to move the transfer across the finish line. Similarly, deals for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and club captain Harry Maguire also took quite a lot of time. Now, it's a different summer, but a similar story. With the new Premier League season only a couple of weeks away, United are yet to sign any player and are only close to signing Van der Beek, which could be quite a coup in itself given how the Dutchman was also attracting interest from Barcelona. In all honesty, United might have gotten lucky this time around, only because Barcelona are more of a mess these days than the English giants. La Blaugrana's off-the-field issues mean that players might think twice before moving to Camp Nou, and the situation must have played a big role in the young Dutchman not linking up with former manager Ronald Koeman. Reportedly, Manchester United are also in talks to bring Dayot Upamecano to Old Trafford. The Frenchman is currently under contract at RB Leipzig and will definitely be a great partner to Harry Maguire. However, how many United fans are confident that a deal will actually happen? In recent years, the club has been linked with pretty much every big player on the planet, but at the end of the day, nothing has ever materialised. With their global presence and history, United should easily be wrapping up deals. But the problem is that these deals rarely happen because the club's hierarchy is simply not good enough at making things happen. There was a reason why Erling Braut Haaland rejected United's overtures. The young striker must have seen how Paul Pogba struggled at the club and decided to move to a club where he could continue his development. The transfer window is clearly a very crucial one for United. The club did well enough to qualify for the Champions League, but in order to move on to the next level, Solskjaer cannot make do with what he has at his disposal. The Red Devils need a good striker to share the goal-scoring burden with Anthony Martial, regardless of how good he was during the second half of the season. Nemanja Matic is on the wrong side of his 30s, and the Serb's replacement has not been secured even though a lot of names have been discussed. Down the right wing, Daniel James cannot be trusted to be consistent given his age. The Bruno Fernandes-Paul Pogba partnership is going to get even better, but can the Norwegian tactician risk overusing perhaps two of his most creative players? This is why the arrival of Donnyvan de Beek would be appreciated greatly. Harry Maguire has paired up with the likes of Victor Lindelöf and Eric Bailly during the previous season, however both men have their problems. The Swede is prone to lapses in concentration, while Bailly's injury record makes him a liability. The club badly needs a more accomplished centre-back who would not put Maguire under extra pressure. But on top of that, United should be actively seeking their first ever sporting director. In recent years, a lot of clubs in Europe have started bringing in sporting directors in order to help the head coach or the manager streamline things. Having a sporting director allows clubs to help managers deal with the players they want in training. In recent months, names such as Edwin van der Sar and Rio Ferdinand have popped up. The name of Ralf Rangnick has also come up, but nothing has been done so far. United need to usher themselves into the modern era and should have someone with a solid football background to engage in transfer dealings. The post has its benefits, since it is the perfect medium of communication between the coaching staff and the top hierarchy. And this is where United are struggling. While there is still time to make moves in the transfer market, Manchester United really need to make radical changes to how they conduct their transfer dealings, because this lethargic approach at bringing players in is going to have a grave impact on the team's performances regardless of which manager they bring in. So, want to know how we never miss a match? With Fubo TV, you can stream any game, anytime, anywhere. Use our link in the description to start for free and watch your favourite teams live.